Alright, hello and welcome back to our Dragon Age Inquisition No Death Ruleset playthrough, brought to you by William Ellison, Master Rosarius, and GameAnyone.com. We're on our third attempt, furthest into the game I've ever been so far. I should say this is our line playthrough at the moment. Okay. Masters of getting killed, the mages are. That music never gets old. Alright. So what was I doing yesterday? Buying and selling shit. I don't remember if I finished or not. I also said I was going to visit the Codex, because now that I am back into uncharted territory, most codexes should be new. We shall see. I don't remember if I finished doing all this shit. Let's go to a codex first. Creatures, archers, I remember, wolves, certainly. Buckfisher, this is a new one. I accompanied Marquis de Archambon upon his expedition reluctantly, although the Chambon insisted on an exploration to show me the truth and beauty of the world might assuage my consternation with which I observed. As we entered the caves, the cold and brackish water dripping incessantly, we came upon a hulking beast whose great flapping paws slapped the stone. In countenance it was broad, its flaps of hide hanging loose across its bristled back. The Chambon drove it away, laughing in its clumsiness. Heedless of the inclined fans protruding at unknown angles from the distended maw. He said the beast, or buckfisher as the locals called it, was a flailing vestige of the lands of men, fit to be tamed or slain. That night we camped outside an underground lake, its rippling caves of sorrows of inhuman whispers. The sepulchral emptiness of the starless night was vast, our own fire pitiful in its sullen rebellion against the unending dark. The buckfisher slipped from the lake, its flapping paws perfectly equipped to propel it through the water, its spiny maw closed upon the chambon. Then the Marquis was gone, his frantic thrashing all we could see in the frenzied white water as the buckfisher pulled him under. That night I knew that this is not the land of men. The lightless, torpid waters are not tamed. Men are but ants crawling witlessly across a lily pad in a pond. Most think the emerald land bound to their tiny will. Those few who peer over the edge and see the Leviathan's pale beneath, scales shimmering in colors with no name, swimming beneath them can only scurry away, trying in vain to articulate the vast and uncaring terror that awaits. What my eyes have seen, my limited mind may never comprehend, but I shall never draw near dark water again. The Buckfisher has taught me well. An Anatomy of Various Terrible Beasts by Baron Havard Pierre de Amortizn. The oak fisher likes hiding in dark places and water. Make Master does not like baths. Okay, the bruiser I remember. The dark spot. This is when I stopped yesterday because I realized this is new. Those who had sought to claim something. This reminds me of Lovecraftian mythos. Okay, those who had sought to claim heaven by violence destroyed it. What was golden and pure turned black. Those who had been once mage lords, the brightest of their age, were no longer men, but monsters. Sin was the midwife that ushered the Darkspawn into this world. The Magisters fell through the Golden City, and their fate encompassed all our world. For they were not alone. No one knows where the Darkspawn come from, a dark mockery of men. In the darkest places they thrive, growing in numbers as a plague of locusts will. In raids, they will often take captives, dragging their victims alive into the deep roads, but most evidence suggests that they are eaten. Like spiders, it seems Darkspawn prefer their food still breathing. Perhaps they are simply spawned by darkness. Certainly, we know that evil has no trouble perpetuating itself. The last blight was in the Age of Towers, striking once again at the heart of the winter, spreading south into Orlais and east to the Free Marshes. The plagues spread as far as Ferelden, but the withering and twisting of the land stopped well beyond our borders. Here, Darkspawn have never been more than the stuff of legends. In the northern lands, however, particularly the Winter and the Underfells, they say Darkspawn hunt the hinterlands, preying on the outlying farmers and isolated villages, a constant threat. The Deep Stalker, the Despair Demon, I don't remember reading this. Once upon a time, we classified these demons of sloth, but we learned that Despair Demons are something quite different. They are not the antithesis of justice or valor, but rather of hope. They form nightmares steering away the foundations of self and purpose. When brought into the world, they are most attracted to places the downtrodden populate, alien edges, slums, prisons, and the like. The miasma they spread can lead to extreme behavior. We look for a rush of unexplained suicides, men and women so filled with grief they lash out. The most intelligent of these creatures are to be feared, for they not only feed on despair, they understand its causes and seek to bring it about. From the shadows they ruin lives, drinking the tears of those who have no idea the cause of their misery is not random chance, or as I have been told, RNG. From a lecture by renowned hunter Sir Hayward of the Templar Order. The Dragonling, I have read this one. The Frenec as well. The Foot Soldier as well. The Giant, I don't remember this one. 938 Dragon, Fort Harvest Mere, continued musings on giants. I assume they encroach due to disruption of their environs. Perhaps clawing darkspawn rerouted underground waters, altering the landscape of their prey. Food is seemingly their only motivator, and I have observed them eating meat, grains, and leaves, nearly anything digestible, with no care or joy for taste or texture. So complete is their scavenging that troll might be a more academically accurate term. But I cannot blame the farming folk for imposing an obvious descriptive. Yet are these giants merely beasts or of destructive instinct? I followed one specimen from the north, where they are somewhat more common. The winter breeding grounds, warmth of the seasons, corruption of silent plains. It followed waterways, preferring to float its bulk, but I never did see any sense in its eye, and never did it appear to plan beyond its immediate surroundings. But I remain intrigued, for they have hands, and that means the potential to raise them in praise. This is lust. Talking. Throughout creation, upright beings have been a sign of a greater purpose. What lesson maker in these strange children I will approach tomorrow in your name. Excerpt notated below in a different hand. Last entry in the letters of Brother Estomar. His only recovered possession, likely because they were already flat. This archivist's recommendation reminds the neophytes that the tale of Sister Dariel in the Wolf's Den is a metaphor. The giant spider, I think I read. Guardsman, I don't remember. No, I think I did read. The Horlock. Alright. Those who had sought to claim. Okay. What? This is the same as. Yeah, it's exactly the same as the other one. Okay, Horlock Alpha. This is a bug. Alright. Horlock Alpha. We brought it into Lord Baron's chamber. Strong men on both sides holding its shackles. It had been stripped of weapons and beaten until we judged it barely capable of walking. I am told you were the lone survivor of the Darkspawn from the mines, Lord Baron said to it. A harlack, as I understand. I am told that you spoke to my men when we captured you. The thing spoke. I told them they would die. Its voice guttural and savage, like the beast trained to mimic language of men, but made out its words clearly enough. Yes, you are smarter than your fellow beasts. Yes, I would no more of this, said Lord Baron. There we might understand your people and negotiate. You will. Your men beat me until their knuckles bled. My blood mixed with theirs. Soon they will hear the song. Soon they'll both be burned, and I will lead them. The men all looked at their hands, for the blood sickness of the Darkspawn was known to us. When they did, the beast wrenched the shackles from their grip, and then it was upon Lord Baron, holding him by the throat. There is no doubt, it said. No negotiation. You will die. Your world will die. Now you understand. It snapped Lord Baron's neck and killed 4 men before we finally killed it. An excerpt from the Blighted Codex, a classified collection of studies on the Darkspawn, held safely in the Imperial Library of Minrathos, available only to the members of the Magisterium. So, I didn't know that. I thought only the disciples of the architect could talk. I was pretty sure. Turns out I am mistaken. Okay. I'm still missing a creature. I don't see anything. Whatever. Groups. Trail mages, the Avars. This is new. Driven across the frostbacks in ancient times, the Alamari tribesmen split into 3 groups. One settled in the Ferendel Valley, one pushed into the Kokari Wilds, and the last returned to the mountains. Modern Fereldans bear little resemblance to their Alamari ancestors, and the Chaizen remember few of their traditions, but the Avar have changed little throughout the ages. Like the Chaizen, the Avar are not a united people. Each tribe fends for itself and is beholden only to its thing. They still follow their own gods, Korth the Mountain Father, Hakon the Winter's Bread Lady of the Skies, as well as dozens of animals gods never name to outsiders. Nothing lasts in the mountains. Wind and rain eventually eat away the strongest holds. Valleys that were arable one generation are locked in year-round ice the next. Game is constantly on the move, even among themselves. The Avar make no absolute promises. They wed by a tradition in which the groom struggles to untie a tightly knotted rope, while the bride sings a hymn to one of the gods. However, many knots have he. However, who what? Well, the as many knots as he has undone by the time her song ends is the number of years she will spend with him. Lonelanders often forget there is no such thing as a permanent alliance in the Frostbacks. I need to remember this. Yeah, full party wipe, exactly right. Uh, Gig up, yes. If the entire party goes down, I will restart the game. I think I haven't read this. Or maybe I have. No, I think I have. The Pentagasts also. The Seekers of Truth, certainly. The End of the Accord. Yeah, I've read all that. Well, hopefully it is fun to watch. I'll be soon done with the Codex. There it is. The Mavari. That's the one I was missing. Just revisiting it because I'm back to where I died before. A little bit after that, actually. Okay, let's. I don't think. Let's read this one. The Warden Sotar Imon, uncle of the late King Kaelan, in hope of mustering troops from the Fereldan nobility. Upon arriving in Redcliffe, they learned that the Jarl had fallen ill and was near death. His knights had gone in pursuit of the fabled ashes of Andraste, Eamon's only hope for a cure, and the village surrounding the keep was beset by a host of animated corpses. The wardens found and stopped the demon behind the undead before joining the search for Eamon's cure. No one is certain if the wardens actually located the final resting place of Our Lady, but whatever they found saved the Earl of Redcliffe. No, I did read this one. Now I remember. Alright. The Conclave. I haven't read this one, I'm sure. It has been a year of little more than chaos. Yes, the mages voted to dissolve the Circle of Magi, but I will point out this vote came only after increased restrictions were placed. No, I have read this one. Yeah, this is when I decided I need to let the chantry fall into the hands of extremists, of traditionalists. The first Inquisition, yes, I'm sure I read that. Alright. Magic. Oculara, yeah, I know what that is. The Lost Art of Balefire. No, I haven't read this one. Though it is an elven magic, I submit that Balefire is worthy of consideration, for they perfected it at the height of their civilization. Certainly, mages often use it as a source of light, for its flame burns without wood or oil, but it can also activate dormant spells, which has its uses. Balfire's true potential, however, is as a medium for writing. Balefire runes convey more than the literal meaning of their texts. Balefire can transfer a tangible impression of sights, sounds, and even emotions on the reader. With diligent practice, any mage can learn this astonishing technique, but compared to the ancient elves' examples, current works are crude. I hope these books will guide those who, like myself, would rekindle an interest in this delicate art. Together, let us discover the subtleties lost through the ages. And this is what explains why Qunari don't use headgear. The deep roots. No, I don't believe I've read this. There isn't a dwarf alive who remembers the deep roots as they once were. They were the network of tunnels that joined the dikes together. To be honest, it isn't even right to give them such a simple term as tunnels. They are works of art, with centuries of planning demonstrated in the geometry of their walls, with the statues of the paragons that watch over travelers, with the flow of lava that keeps the deep roads lit and warm. The cloud gazers upon the surface talk of the imperial highway built by the magisters of old, a raised walkway that crossed thousands of miles, something that could only have been built by magic. Perhaps it is comparable to the deep roads, although We dwarves didn't need magic. I suppose it doesn't matter anymore. The Darkspawn rule the deep roads now. When Orzammar sealed off the entrances of the deep roads, abandoning everything that lay out there, we handed over the kingdom that was to those black bastards forever. To think that there are Genlocks crawling over Bonamar right now, tearing down our statues and defiling our greatest works. Corruption covers everything we built out there. Every dwarf who goes out and comes back says it only gets worse each passing year, but the foulness spreads a little bit farther. And the cloud gazers think the darkspawn are gone just because they aren't spinning out into the surface? Heh, one day when Orzammar is gone for good, they'll find out differently. Those darkspawn won't have anywhere else to go but up. They'll do that. The surface folk will have themselves a light that will never end. Okay. Ferelden after the light. I think I did read that. The children don't remember anything. Okay, yeah. I remember that one as well. Nevarra and their necromancing. This is the legend of the temple. The Fallow Mire. I'm sure I haven't read this one. I spent the last week in the Fallow Mire. The bog stretches forever, and it's slow riding at night when the mists get thick. You can still travel along the old roads, and there is enough good hunting to make the trip worthwhile. Fish, birds, even a few hearts. There's one thing to look out for, though. When anything dies in the water, the mire preserves it. I was stuck in a magnificent buck when a corpse clawed out of the water at me. I'm not afraid to say I ran. No rack of antlers is worth fighting a demon. My cousin in Fisher's End thought it was funny. She says to look out for the undead every time he goes outside the village. I don't know how he stands it. The Forbidden Oasis. No, I don't remember that. The hinterlands, certainly a letter never delivered to. Do you see, my lord Earl Tegan? I wonder if Tegan is not the Earl of Redcliffe then, because someone said that Emon was still alive. Maybe Tegan became the Earl of some other place. I don't know. Maybe no Amaranthine. The warden became the one that got away. I remember that song. Okay, we're almost finished here. The Perils of Adarlan. This is by Leliana, isn't it? Yeah, Nightingale. Alright, we're done. Inquisition Camps, Ocularum, World Trial, War Table, Researcher, Faith Rift, Apothecary, Search, Tactical Camera, Balefire. Explore to find ancient runes or devices that can only be used by Balefire. Using any combat ability will cause you to drop it. Mounts, behaviors. Character record, revive, potion upgrading, and crafting. Alright. So, what? I was doing something here. Codex updated archers, great. Well, let's do it now. Well, Gigup, I don't know. I don't know how my particular playthrough would. Okay. Would affect. Damage against humanoids increase. Okay. Would affect who's the Earl of Redcliffe. I don't remember. Well, I killed the sold, and I gave the child to the demon. Maybe that broke Eamon's heart. And he gave up. Maybe I just need to sell all this shit. Okay, I sincerely don't know what I was doing here. I don't think I need to do anything, to be honest. I don't need to spend points. I was dealing with Barrick. That much I remember. But other than that, maybe a sturdy Bianca grip. Yeah, other than that, I don't know what. This would be an interesting thing. Do upgrades clutter my inventory space? I'm going to say yes. Yes, they do. No wonder. No wonder I'm running out of inventory space. Then I need to get rid of a few of these. In fact, I think I'm going to get rid of one of them. Well, the ones I will never use. A dagger. I might use daggers, who knows. But a two-handed warrior, that seems fairly useless. You have two of these at least at one. Okay, let's get out of here. Hello, Darth Saber, how are you? Okay, back to the Falomire then. Let's see if we can find the Avar chieftain. Although it is his son that's trying to kill me, not the actual chieftain.